Boy, do we have a lot to talk about.
No, he's still faithful. I'ma put it all on the table. He forever faithful. Yeah, he's still faithful.
What's up, 49er faithful? You are tuned in to Keeping the Faith here on this Wednesday evening, March 11th, 2026. I'm JD, and it is the third day of NFL free agency, the official start of the 2026 NFL league year, although legal tampering began on Monday, and there have been tons of moves throughout the entire National Football League, including by your San Francisco 49ers over the last couple of days. And we have a ton to talk about tonight as 49ers fans. Now, some of you may have seen a couple videos that I dropped on Monday. I posted my instant reactions to the 49ers signing both wide receiver Mike Evans and offensive lineman Verdarian Lowe. The 49ers signed those guys within the opening hours of the NFL's legal tampering period on Monday. However, I have been a little MIA up until this afternoon because not too long after I posted those videos on Monday, my PC decided to take a crap on me. On the very first day of NFL free agency. So I'm sure, as all of you can imagine, I was not very happy about it. I had to wipe my entire PC, reinstall Windows. It's been a nightmare. And I lost some things that I won't be able to get back, which sucks. But we persevered, we grinded through it, and here we are. But with all that said, I did miss some things that the Niners have done in recent days. So tonight, what we are going to do, I'm going to give some quick thoughts on some players that have came in, some players that have left the 49ers, and of course, take your guys' questions in the chat. And later, I will be posting the StreamYard link to go ahead and take your calls here live, get your reaction to everything that we've seen so far down in Santa Clara in the opening days of free agency. I want to talk to you guys tonight. So, get your popcorn ready, as T.O. would say. Get your favorite beverage, kick your feet up, relax. It might be a long stream, but at the end of the day, we have a lot to talk about. I missed out on some stuff yesterday, and if you guys didn't see it, make sure you go check out my video that I posted a few hours ago with the breaking news that the San Francisco 49ers acquired the services of former Dallas Cowboys defensive tackle Osa Odigizua today for their third-round pick in the upcoming 2026 NFL draft. That pick is 92nd overall. I gave my thoughts on the move in that video. We can talk about that today as well. I'm sure that is at the forefront of 49ers fans' minds. It's very near the top of my mind today. That was a heck of a trade by John Lynch and company, acquiring a very, very solid interior pass rusher in Osa Odigizua. We can also talk about some of the other moves the Niners have made. We can talk about the Mike Evans acquisition. We could talk about Verdarian Lowe. Anything else that you guys want to get into tonight, we certainly can. I'm open to all of it. But let's get into real quick. And I do see some of you guys trickling in into the chat here. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. My guy Eastside dropping his ones. My guy Fazil chiming in. What's up, Fazil? Good to see you. Half Dead checking in. Awesome. Good to see you guys. Sorry I haven't been live in a little while. Sorry for the lack of content yesterday. Like I said, my PC crapped out on me Monday afternoon, so I was out of commission for a little bit, but we're back up and running now, and I had to go live to react to all of the crazy news that we have been seeing from the 49ers in these last couple of days. So what I'm gonna quickly do first is kind of recap and give my quick thoughts on some of the players that have departed the 49ers. I'm going to recap some of those quickly. I'm not going to take too long, and then I'll hit on some of the players that they have signed or re-signed, and we can hit on the Osa Odigizua signing or trade today, even though I did post my thoughts in the instant reaction video, and then we will go ahead and open up the StreamYard to you guys so you guys can call in. That's really why I went live. I want to talk to you guys tonight. I know a lot of you are just as excited as I am. I couldn't wait to go live this evening. So let me just take a sip of water and we'll get the show rolling. All right. So again, quick recap on some of the players, or actually all of the players that have departed the 49ers up until this point. The Niners lost kick return / punt returner Sky Moore to the Green Bay Packers, who signed a 1-year deal with them. That was a bummer. Sky Moore was kind of a revelation for the Niners in 2025. He averaged 27.5 yards per kick return on 33 attempts and 11.6 yards per punt return on 25 attempts in 2025. In my opinion, I mean, he was the best kick returner the Niners have had since Ted Ginn roughly 15 years ago. The Niners have been snake bitten on special teams when it comes to trying to find a reliable return man. They finally get one, right before the start of the 2025 season in a pick swap trade with the Chiefs. He's here 1 year. He does what they brought him in to do, and they let him walk out the door. Not ideal. That one bummed me out a little bit, and it leaves the 49ers with a big hole to fill. And as we've seen for the last 15 years, it's few and far between with the Niners when it comes to finding capable returners. Look for potentially Jacob Cowing to compete for that job, possibly Jordan Watkins, Isaac Guerendo. Maybe there's an outsider that they're going to bring in that we don't know yet. Maybe they draft somebody, but at the end of the day, the Niners have a gaping hole in their special teams after losing Sky Moore to the Green Bay Packers on a 1-year deal. I don't know why the Niners didn't try to keep him. Maybe he wanted out. Whatever the case may be, big time bummer to lose Sky Moore. Next on the list, the Niners lost wide receiver Kendrick Bourne to the division rival Arizona Cardinals. He signed a 2-year deal with Arizona worth up to $12 million. He is 30 years old. He rejoined the 49ers early in the 2025 season after the team had some injuries in their wide receiver room. Racked up 37 receptions for 551 yards, including back-to-back games with 142 yards each in weeks 5 and 6 while Mac Jones was at the helm. Now, that last part is the part of emphasis because while he excelled with Mac Jones in the lineup, when Brock Purdy returned, Kendrick Bourne was non-existent, an afterthought. He disappeared. And so the Niners let Kendrick Bourne walk out the door. Thanks for all you did, KB, but they didn't need him. They didn't see themselves needing to retain the services of the 2-time 49er Kendrick Bourne any longer, and now he joins the division rival Arizona Cardinals. Shout out to KB. He did some good things, was good for the locker room this year. No hate for KB for what he did this year. Good on him to get his bag in Arizona. But hope we beat you twice a year. Next on the list, Niners lost defensive tackle Jordan Elliott on a 2-year, $8 million deal to the Tennessee Titans, where he will be reuniting with former 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, who coached him up in 2025 with the Niners. Jordan Elliott had been a rotational player in his first 4 years in the league, but with Saleh in 2025, he started 16 games for the 49ers with Saleh calling the shots, tallied 31 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits, and 1 pass defense. By far, probably Jordan Elliott's best year of his career. And the Niners looking to reshuffle their defensive line, shake things up, bring in some higher end talent, as evidenced by the trade for Osa Odigizua today. They allow Jordan Elliott to test the market, and he follows Robert Saleh to the Tennessee Titans. He was a decent player with the Niners, but they could definitely do better. And that's no slight to Jordan Elliott. Wish him well. He'll probably do good things with Saleh out in Tennessee. But the Niners definitely needed to upgrade at defensive tackle. And after today, you can say that they did. So those are the players that the Niners have lost thus far in free agency. Now, of course, Juwan Jennings is still floating out there. He has not signed anywhere as of yet. There are some rumblings that potentially Jawan Jennings and the Niners may work something out, but he does have some interest from a few teams out there. So we'll see what happens, but nothing has developed as of yet with Jawan Jennings. Now, the Niners also took care of a few of their in-house free agents, re-signed a couple of guys. The first one being linebacker Garrett Wallow, who they re-signed on a one-year deal. He joined the Niners in December after the Niners were ravaged by injuries at the linebacker spot late in the year. His highlight on the season was, of course, the NFC wildcard game against the Philadelphia Eagles, where he tallied 11 tackles and one pass broken up when the Niners went into Philly and beat the defending Super Bowl champs in their house. Of course, what they like from Wallow, he does bring some special teams value as well. So they elected to bring Wallow back on a one-year deal. Next up, for players that the Niners have retained, they re-signed running back Patrick Taylor Jr. I didn't expect them to do that. I thought maybe they would move on, but they re-signed Patrick Taylor Jr. to a one-year deal. He did fracture his shoulder during the preseason before the 2025 year started, missed the entire year. Throughout his tenure with the Niners in recent seasons, he's played sparingly at running back, mostly a special teams guy. I feel like that's why they brought him back, is for his special teams value. Maybe, we'll see. But Patrick Taylor is a guy that they've liked to have around, and they re-signed him to a one-year deal. Now, they also tendered restricted free agent Sam Okawanu to a one-year, $3.546 million deal. In 2025, he racked up 39 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble in 15 games, including 12 starts. Sam Okawanu definitely played very respectively, however you want to say it, in 2025. He carved out himself a nice role with the 49ers this year. Solid depth for the 49ers moving forward. I'm glad to see that they retained him. Of course, they need to upgrade on the edge. The Niners know that. And with the likes of Nick Bosa, Mykel Williams coming back, potentially Bryce Huff, and whoever they may draft in the upcoming 2026 draft, they're going to upgrade on the edge. But you can do a lot worse than Sam Okawanu when you're talking about defensive line depth on the edge. He played admirably in 2025. So I was happy to see that they retained him. Next on the list, the Niners re-sign tight end Jake Tonjes, 2-year deal, $8 million with $5.5 million guaranteed. Now, this one I know made a lot of Niner fans happy because Tonjes kind of had a career year with the Niners this season. 34 receptions, 294 yards, and 5 touchdowns in 17 games with 2 starts. And of course, the presence of Tonjes, his value will be increased to start the 2026 campaign as George Kittle continues to rehab from his torn Achilles suffered in the 49ers wildcard playoff win in Philadelphia. Tonjes, of course, was the hero of the 49ers Week 1 game up in Seattle that I happened to be at and attend. Saw Jake Tonjes score that game-winning touchdown, and I'm happy to see that the Niners are bringing back Jake Tonjes on a 2-year deal. He earned it. He definitely played well this season for the Niners in 2025. Now, another free agent that I did not get a chance to react to when they signed him because of my computer being on the fritz. The Niners signed guard/center Brett Toth from Philadelphia late Tuesday evening. 29 years old, turns 30 in September, 6'6", 304 pounds, versatile player, can play guard and center. He entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent in 2019 with the Philadelphia Eagles. He had stints with Philadelphia in 2019, 2020 through 2024. He also played with Arizona in 2019 and Carolina in 2023. In 2025, he started 4 games at center for Philadelphia. He started 4 games for Philly in 2025. 363 of his snaps came at center and guard, allowing 2 sacks and 13 pressures in 2025. Here it is. 199 of his snaps came at left guard. 164 of his snaps came at center. So he has guard center versatility. We know how Kyle Shanahan loves guys that can do multiple things. And with the Niners having a big opening at left guard, Toth definitely figures to be competing in training camp for potentially a starting spot. He could play with the Niners at left guard if things go his way in training camp. From what I saw in just a quick watch, he does have some very, very solid movement ability. He can get out in space. He can pull. He's very adept at getting out and moving. He's very mobile for a guy his size. He has also a little bit of nastiness to him. He likes to finish blocks. He'll go out of his way to kind of smash a guy in his peripheral vision. Like I liked what I saw from Toth in the limited watch that I did. And the move, at the very least, it's a solid depth piece, a guy who can play guard or center, depending on injuries. And we all know that injuries are going to come. It's just a part of being a San Francisco 49er and playing and practicing next to that substation. So a guy who can play multiple spots definitely has value on this football team, but he does figure to battle it out in training camp for potentially that starting left guard spot with the likes of Connor Colby and potentially Ben Barch. Maybe they go in the draft and select a left guard at some point. We'll see. But I like what I saw from the 29-year-old Brett Toth out of Philadelphia in the limited watch that I did after they signed him. Now, those are the players that the Niners have re-signed. The Niners have lost since I wasn't able to react to anything after Monday when my computer went down. So I hope you guys are still watching. Appreciate all you guys bearing with me while I kind of rolled through that there. I definitely wanted to make sure I mentioned that before we get into the rest of the show tonight. Let's see who we got in the chat before we do anything else. I know I'm missing a ton of your guys' comments more than likely, and I appreciate all you guys who are here in the live chat and who are always here checking out the streams and the videos and whatnot. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Okay. Half Dead says, I hope you're going to go back to doing the draft reactions. That's how I found you back in the day. I did the draft reactions last year. I'll be doing them again this year, my friend. Don't worry. The draft reactions will be coming. I know those are always my most popular videos on the channel. I'll definitely be doing some draft reaction videos this year. I want to make sure I mentioned that as I saw that comment. Esai says, they are definitely not giving up on Collins and West and Mikel. They are simply retooling and trying to develop Mikel into a pass rusher. I can see Osa being a third down defensive tackle. Let's jump into it. I hit on it in my instant reaction video, but let's talk about the big news of the day. The acquisition of former Dallas Cowboys defensive tackle Osa Odigizua. The Niners trade their 92nd pick overall, which is a third rounder, to Dallas in exchange for Osa Odigizua. 6'2", 280 pounds. He is a interior rusher. He's not a run stopper. He's not a guy who's going to take up double teams. He is a one gap penetrator guy who's going to get up the field, be disruptive, get after the quarterback. And the Niners, after sniffing around on John Franklin Myers, the former Denver Bronco, and ultimately losing out on him in free agency, quickly pivoted to Osa Odigizua, who is 27 years old, turns 28 this coming summer. And Odigizua is one of the more capable interior rushers in all of football. I really like what I see from the newest San Francisco 49er. Let me pull up my notes here that I had on Osa so I can give you guys a little more perspective, because I mentioned this stuff in my video earlier, but want to make sure I don't miss anything. So in acquiring Osa Odigizua, the Niners will be taking on his $16.75 million cap hit, which is fully guaranteed in 2025. Then he would have 2 years remaining on his deal in 2027 and 2028. Those cap hits are $20 million in each of those 2 seasons. Of course, 49ers assistant head coach of defense Matt Eberflus was the Cowboys defensive coordinator in 2025 and coached up Osa Odigizua. So I'm sure that relationship certainly played a role in bringing Osa into the fold, but he's exactly the prototype of what the 49ers look for in one of those interior rusher types. Now, his numbers, in terms of if you're looking at just sacks and whatnot, they don't jump off the page at you. 3.5 sacks, 44 tackles in 17 games in 2025. But he recorded 52 pressures, which was sixth most among interior defensive linemen across the NFL. That's where he makes his noise, as just a disruptive force, a guy who wreaks havoc on the interior, who gets after the quarterback. He may not always bring him down, but he's in the quarterback's lap a lot. He is impacting the quarterback a ton as an interior rusher, getting in his, into his grill, flushing him out of the pocket. And that's exactly what the Niners are looking for, because they're going to have guys screaming off the edge coming to get him. And with Osa Odigizua coming up the middle, that quarterback is not going to be able to step up into the pocket. He's going to have to make a business decision and try and roll out. And when he does, guys like Nick Bosa are going to be getting after him. That's why the 49ers bring him in. He also had a 13.6% pass rush win rate, which was good, for ninth among all defensive tackles in the National Football League in 2025. And he was third in quarterback hits in 2025 with 23. He also had 23 quarterback hits in 2024. So he gets after the quarterback. He just doesn't always bring him to the ground. Now, maybe here in San Francisco, with what we can hope is a better defensive front than what they had in Dallas, maybe Osa's sack numbers go up. I would think that they probably will. Now, in 2024, when Osa was playing in Dallas next to Micah Parsons before he moved on to Green Bay in 2025, Osa was number 5 in pressures among defensive tackles and number 8 in pass rush win rate that season, with a guy like Micah Parsons next to him. So you figure he's going to have Bosa playing alongside him this year. His numbers may be able to benefit from having an elite pass rusher next to him yet again. He's a guy who can win with speed or power. He's got good feet, violent hands, strong hands, long arms. He's not, the world's best run stopper, but that's not why they brought him in. They already have that position filled and taken care of with the likes of Alfred Collins and CJ West. Now, of course, we want those two youngsters to improve as pass rushers going into 2026, but they complement each other. Osa Odigizua complements what Alfred Collins and CJ West bring to the table, and you have to imagine what it's going to look like on third downs and obvious passing situations when they rotate in that NASCAR package with Mykel Williams and Osa on the inside getting after the quarterback. It's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait. Of course, you're going to have Nick Bosa on one side, potentially Bryce Huff or whatever other defensive end that they end up having in the fold come the start of the season, whether it be through the draft. Maybe they go out and get a Joey Bosa in the coming days. We'll see. But the Niners pass rushing sub package is going to be fun to watch this year. Just paying attention to the interior with Osa and Mykel Williams getting after the quarterback. I'm very excited to see what those guys look like together. It's going to be fun. When I saw that news today, it hyped me up absolutely. So definitely wanted to hit on that Osa news. We can also talk about, anything. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and post the StreamYard link, and I want you guys to call in. I don't want to talk all day. I posted my videos. You guys can check out my reactions to stuff. But what I want to do is post the StreamYard link, let you guys call in. I'll take some of your questions here in the chat as well. We can hit on anything. We can talk about the Osa acquisition. We can talk about Mike Evans coming into the fold, Vidarian Lowe, Brett Toth, some of the players that have walked out the door in recent days. We can talk about the Trent Williams situation with Adam Schefter recently saying that the 49ers have no plans to trade Trent Williams and that they are working out a contract with him. We could hit on anything that you guys want to discuss here tonight that pertains to the last few days with the NFL league year getting underway this week. Tons of news, tons of things to talk about. I want to get your thoughts on the moves that you've seen from the 49ers thus far. And you can also tell me, what else do you want to see from the 49ers? Is there anything else that you want the 49ers to accomplish in free agency before we ultimately turn the page and start looking directly towards the NFL draft. And, I would like the Niners to potentially go after a safety in free agency. There are some cheap options still out there that I think would fit in well. And I'm going to give one name real quick before I post this StreamYard link because I've been meaning to talk about this and I just keep forgetting. And now while it's in my head, I'm going to do it. And this might not be a move that is popular with a lot of Niner fans. It might not be a move that's popular with the 49ers front office. This might not be a guy they even want to kick the tires on or entertain. But I would love to see the 49ers go after Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That dude's been a playmaker his whole career. Yeah, he may be a little rough around the edges. He may be a little outspoken at times, do some kind of, wacky things on social media or in the locker room, whatever. But he's a dog. He's gritty. He's tough. He's competitive. I don't mind a guy who talks a little junk. I don't mind a player who's rough around the edges. And he's a playmaker. He's a ball hawk, man. He separates the football from the offensive player, whether it be through a turnover or a big hit, whatever the case may be. I've always liked Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And the Niners have always, under Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, they've had a lot of nice guys in their locker room. And I want somebody maybe with a little more edge to them. And the Niners need to upgrade at safety. And I think bringing in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who I believe is still 28 years old, I think they could bring him in on a decent deal. And I think he'd bring a little swag to the Niners locker room, a little bit of tenacity, a little extra toughness, a little grit. I would be open to the 49ers going after a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I've always liked him. And I think the Niners could use a little bit of nastiness on their defense. They need some more toughness. They need to upgrade in the toughness department, in the competitive department, that fiery competitor type of guy. And that's what Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is, man. I've always liked him. And I just wanted to mention that real quick while it was on my mind, because I've been meaning to talk about that. But let me take some questions from the chat, and then I will post the StreamYard link and let you guys call in. Let's see. Esai says, still no Kendrick signing. Dre Greenlaw on the way. Yeah, they haven't re-signed Eric Kendricks as of yet, but they are kind of loaded. Or not, I wouldn't say loaded, but they have a lot of bodies in that linebacker room right now. I mean, they have Garrett Wallow, who they just re-signed. They still have Tatum Bethune. They still have D. Winters, Nick Martin, Fred Warner. They have some bodies there, but Dre Greenlaw was released by the Denver Broncos. Actually, it's not official yet. It has not hit the transaction wire in the NFL yet. I was paying attention to that today to make sure that it was official, or see that it was official. They are going to release Dre Greenlaw, but it has not been officially done as of yet. But you have to imagine that when it does become official, the Niners will be one of the first people to call Dre Greenlaw about a potential reunion. And I, for one, would love to see it. One of my favorite players in the Shanahan era. I would love to see it. And in my 49ers free agency predictions video, I hit on the Dre Greenlaw possibility. So if you want to hear my full thoughts on Greenlaw coming back, go check out that video. Let's see what else you guys are saying here in the chat before I post the StreamYard link. Fazil says Bosa, Osa, Michael, and Huff will be on passing downs in the NASCAR package, and the run stuffers were drafted last year. Michael, Collins, CJ West, and they all have been solid. Yeah, the Niners are setting themselves up right now. I'm really liking what they're doing with this defensive line, because Michael's going to come back healthy. Nick Bosa is coming back healthy. You already have CJ West and Alfred Collins who played admirably in their rookie seasons and figure to take a leap in year two. Now you add the disruptor that is Osa Odigizua to that defensive line, and they're not done. I'm telling you right now, and I put this in my prediction video as well the other day. They're going to sign Joey Bosa. I think we both know that. I think we all know that They're gonna end up signing Joey Bosa. He'll help on the other side of Nick Bosa on that defensive line, out on the edge, and I do think that they still address defensive end probably again in the upcoming draft as well. But either way, this defensive line is going to look night and day different from last year. The depth is going to be night and day different from last year. They still have Keon White, who, yes, he's on the mend from a gunshot wound, but he figures to be back in the lineup as well. They re-signed Sam Okawanu today. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I can see the vision. I see the vision. I see what they're doing. John Lynch emphasized that they wanted to invest heavily in the defensive line and the pass rush this offseason, and they have gotten off to a heck of a start after today's trade with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm looking forward to everything between now and the draft and seeing what this team can do to upgrade on the defensive line. Let's see. Stavi says we just need Joey next. See, everybody knows Joey Bosa's coming. I'm not the only one who feels that way. Everybody knows Joey Bosa's coming. Just get it out of the way. I mean, come on. Jay Tan chiming in. What's up, Jay Tan? Long time no see. He says I like the signings. Shrewd signings. Good maneuvers. Absolutely, I'm with you on that. Jay Tan says the playmaker and the trenches have been added to. Yeah, they signed Mike Evans, who's going to be your wide receiver 1 this year, assuming he can stay healthy. I did hit on the Evans signing in my instant reaction video. We can definitely talk about that tonight. If you guys call in and want to talk about the Evans signing, would love to talk about that with you guys as well, but I don't want to waste too much more of your time. I definitely want to get to your guys' calls as soon as possible here. Let's see. Big Brick says no Greenlaw, no Debo, no Crosby. Well, Crosby's not happening. It was never going to happen. It's definitely not happening now. From all accounts, he's probably going to stay with the Raiders now after that whole fiasco between the Raiders and Baltimore. That was crazy, wasn't it? As far as no Greenlaw, no Debo, that's another one. The Debo signing, or the potential Debo signing, has been a big rumor leading up to free agency. And another big rumor was that he was spotted in San Francisco over the weekend. So maybe that's coming down the pipeline as well. We will see. And then as far as no Greenlaw, man, like I don't see the downside to re-signing Dre Greenlaw. They're not going to give him a ton of money. They're not going to give him a crazy long-term deal. They're not going to give him a ton of guaranteed money. It's going to be low risk. And it's low risk, high reward. A guy who knows your team, knows the standard, knows the expectations, knows the players, knows the score, knows what's going on as soon as he steps on the field here in San Francisco. And the passion, the leadership that he plays with, the energy, the spark that he'll bring, the toughness, the physicality. There's no downside to me in signing Dre Greenlaw, even if he gets hurt. Because even if he gets hurt, you still have D. Winters, who had experience last year. You have Nick Martin, who you invested a third-round pick in and could see the field. Bring in Dre Greenlaw. If he stays healthy, he's a guy who can still play. If he gets hurt, you have insurance behind him. I'm not upset by any means if they bring in Dre Greenlaw. As a matter of fact, I'll probably be one of the more excited fans out there if they bring in Dre Greenlaw. I'm all about bringing back Dre Greenlaw, assuming that is in the cards. Salvador says, what's up, JD? What's up, Salvador? Appreciate you for tuning in, my friend. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss anything that we haven't discussed. Need speed at wideouts. That's, I think that's coming in the upcoming draft. Also, a little bit of foreshadowing, or a little hint. Make sure you have your notifications on. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel, because I have a video posting in the morning about another wide receiver that the 49ers are currently kicking the tires on. They are looking to acquire another proven veteran wide receiver who is young and fast right now. They are kicking the tires on a certain player, And I'm not going to spoil it. All I'm going to tell you is make sure that you check the channel in the morning. The video is going to be up in the morning. Maybe some of you know who it is if you were watching a certain stream. But I just made a video right before I went live here talking about the latest rumors surrounding the 49ers kicking the tires on potentially acquiring another wide receiver via trade. And this comes even after they signed Mike Evans. The Niners are calling teams right now on other wide receivers, even after signing Mike Evans. Just putting that out there. Make sure you guys tune into my video in the morning because I'll talk about it there. Let's see what else we got in the chat, and then I will post the StreamYard link. I know I keep saying that, but you guys keep leaving good comments in the chat, man. Stavi says, Tyreek Hill, YOLO, do it. That's where I'll draw the line. I'm good. His knee injury was disgusting. Not to mention the stuff off the field is not something the Niners would be interested in. He's going to be a diminished player who's going to demand a ton of targets, potentially be a distraction. Nah, I'm good. I'm good on Tyreek Hill. No, I don't care if it's at a vet minimum. I'm good on Tyreek Hill. Big Brick says, LOL, not Tyreek. Addison over Hill, but don't want Addison either. Well, don't watch my video in the morning. So, all right, let me go ahead and post the StreamYard link for you guys, and I'll let you guys call in and give your thoughts. We can talk about anything that you guys want to talk about that has happened so far. Players that the Niners have acquired, players that the Niners have let go, any other rumors that are out there regarding the Niners, we can hit on that as well, or anything you want the Niners to do moving forward, we can hit on that. So the StreamYard link is posted. Let me make sure that it is pinned so that way you guys can see it. There we go. All right. The StreamYard link is pinned. Now is your chance to call in and give your thoughts. I would love to chop it up with as many of you guys as possible. We can hit on anything. Trent Williams, Mike Evans, whatever questions you guys have, whatever topics you want to get into regarding the 49ers and free agency, let's talk about it. I'm jacked up. It's one of my favorite times of the year. I love the player acquisition process with the NFL, the team building aspect of things. I love free agency and the draft. I'm kind of a nerd for this stuff. I'll be honest with you. This time of year, like the free agency and the draft, I almost kind of like this stuff more than the actual games. As crazy as that sounds, I just love the team building aspect, the talent acquisition, seeing who's available, kind of just thinking things through, getting excited over the rumors. Like I love all this stuff. This is my time of year in the NFL, but maybe I'm crazy. But the StreamYard link is pinned for you guys. Would love to hear from as many of you all as possible, but of course we can also take your questions in the chat. We have a caller backstage. I'm not sure who it is. Let's try it. Caller, you're on Keeping the Faith with JD. Who's this?
Yo, it's me, Nitro.
Nitro?
Yeah, it's me, 2K Nitro.
Oh, got you. It's been, you know what? It's been a while. My mistake. How you doing, my friend? Good to hear from you.
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. The Niners signed Mike Evans this week. They made a big trade for Osa Odigizua today to help fortify that interior on their defensive line. I'm doing good, man. What's on your mind? What do you want to get into tonight with these Niners?
Yeah, I just want to talk about, a few things. Yeah, I saw we got Mike Evans. At first I was like, but as I thought about it, I really do think that it's a good signing for us, especially given the price that we paid, and it's not going to be like a long-term contract, so I don't see nothing wrong with it. So that's fine. I just still feel in the draft we should address the O-line with Trent Williams now, because I think it's time for us to get an heir apparent at tackle and stop playing around with him, because he's always holding us hostage every year, and I think it's time for us to get somebody young to groom while he's still around. So hopefully at 27, that's where we go, either tackle or potentially wide receiver if we don't trade for somebody. But those are my thoughts so far.
Okay, I'm going to hit on the Trent Williams things first, and then I'll hit on the Mike Evans point. The Trent Williams thing, I'm with you. I want the Niners to find the heir apparent because I'm tired of Trent Williams holding this team hostage every other season. He's 38 years old, and the fact that he has this much leverage over the team still at 38 years old is concerning. But the conflict here is, do the 49ers have the luxury of selecting a tackle early in the draft, first, second round, the heir apparent, and having him sit for a year and not even see the field? Now, maybe you pick someone who can play guard in the first year, but let's just pretend that they draft a player, a tackle who's going to sit for the year. He's not going to play guard. He's going to be the future left tackle. And they still have Trent Williams. They still have Colton McKivitz. So the rookie's not going to play. Do the Niners have the luxury to do that, or do they have to take someone who can play now? That's the tough spot that the Niners are in.
Well, here's the thing. Typically, Kyle, if he's an offensive guy, Kyle won't play him anyway. So it kind of don't matter if they take offensive guy. Because Kyle rarely plays the rookies, in my opinion. So he likes to. I think he prefers to redshirt rookies, if anything. So it's kind of the same thing, regardless if if he's a tackle or a wide receiver, he's probably going to try to sit him anyway. So I though don't like to be held hostage by Trent Williams every year, like you kind of alluded to. So I'll prefer at least to get somebody there that, just in case that Trent Williams does this again, or if he retires, we have somebody in the wings. I know we got somebody from the New England. I don't know if that's somebody that we're trying to maybe potentially groom in to take Trent Williams' spot, but that's a theory. I have to see more of how he plays. And I know Spencer Burford, nobody signed him yet. So I don't know if they want to wait and see if his market value comes down and maybe they'll bring him back potentially. I'm not sure about that either as an option.
I don't think they're bringing back Burford, just considering that they've already signed Vidarian Lowe, who can play tackle. They signed Brett Toth, who can play guard or center. They kind of have those depth guys already in place who are probably going to come at a cheaper price than Burford. I don't see Burford being in the cards. But I think the way the draft's going to go, I think it's just going to depend on who falls. Who falls to the 49ers at 27? Who falls to them in the second round potentially? The way things are going, I have a feeling that they may go with that offensive lineman at 27 because they've already addressed wide receiver. They're addressing the trenches right now. So maybe they do go with the tackle at 27 and find that heir apparent and kind of finally do what everyone's been wanting them to do the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, they really need to. And I'm not against them also maybe getting a wide receiver at that 27 spot, because there's so many good ones. And it's like you want to maybe grab one while one is there. Like you said, one slide. So, and I know they don't really overly value the trenches too much. Maybe you get a tackle in the second round. I know there's a guy from Arizona State that's kind of like a developmental kind of tackle that has a lot of potential. Maybe he might slide to the second round, and maybe they could snatch him there or trade up and get him if he's somebody that they feel is worth trading up for. But 27. I mean, I still feel at wide receiver we don't have what I still feel we need. What somebody mentioned in chat is a speed receiver. We need a speed receiver badly. We need somebody that can at least be a decoy and stretch the field. My only concern again goes back to, will Kyle play this guy regardless? I know he's like always makes an excuse for not playing guys, but he needs to kind of be more considerate. Especially we're getting older now on offense. I think we have the oldest offense in football, so it's like you got to be willing to sprinkle in some young guys every once in a while. You can't just run out this 30-plus-year-old offense and think it's going to succeed and be healthy and beat a defense like a Seattle or a Rams. Come on, they're young, they're quick. You gotta match all of that with young and quick players, and I just don't understand why he doesn't want to get players like that.
I'm with you, and the beautiful thing about this upcoming draft, it is stocked full of a ton of really fast burners at wide receiver. So I think whether it's in the first round or the second round, maybe even the third round. I think the Niners are going to come away with a guy who fills that void on this team. One of my favorites is Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. I've been on him since late December, early January. Really like what I see from him. A little bit of a body catcher, but he's got speed to burn and he's tough as nails. I would be all about that. I like Antonio Williams out of Clemson as well, but not to get sidetracked into the draft, but I'm definitely excited.
I like the Tennessee kid. He's my favorite. The Tennessee kid.
Brazil.
Yeah, that's the guy I would love for us to get. He's tall, fast, and I think he's what we need. Somebody like that. I think Brock likes those tall receivers. It seems he had like a good rapport with Jennings. I'm surprised he hasn't been signed yet either. So I don't know what they may be trying to maybe bring him back. But again, I wouldn't mind personally because I like Jennings. But then again, he doesn't meet what we need is the speed. We don't need no more slow receivers. We need guys that could match Seattle because they got some fast corners and quick players, and you can't beat them with slow players. So it's like we have to kind of match that.
Yeah, I would prefer them not bring back Juwan Jennings, especially because they just signed Mike Evans, who is a more improved version of Juwan Jennings. But there is talk that they could potentially be looking to re-sign Juwan. He's not getting the offers that he thought he was going to get. There are some interested teams, but there may be a low enough price that they bring him back, but we'll see. While we're on the receiver point, I did want to talk about Mike Evans because that was your first point of your call here. I love the Mike Evans deal. I mean, yes, on paper, when the deal came down, it said 3 years up to $60 million. Everyone kind of freaked out. He's 33 years old, coming off of a season where he was injured. Everyone kind of freaked out. And then they saw the fine print, and it's essentially a 1-year deal worth about $16 million. And you're getting a guy who is a future Hall of Famer. And yes, he had one very injured season last year, but the injuries that he had, one of them was a broken collarbone and a concussion on the same play. He just kind of landed wrong and it happened. It's a fluke thing. Right. It's not some injury prone sort of issue. That doesn't worry me there.
Wait. He had a hamstring. He had a hamstring before that.
Yep, I was going to get to that. He had the hamstring as well. But he returned from that. He returned from that and was playing good until he got hurt, with the collarbone and the concussion. So he's been a guy who's largely been able to stay healthy throughout most of his career. And I'm not necessarily worried about Mike Evans staying healthy. I think he's one of those kind of guys that he knows what to do. He knows how to take care of his body. And it's going to be up to Kyle Shanahan not to run him into the ground, knowing that you do have a 33-year-old wide receiver and you're going to need to spread the ball around a little bit. But for the contract that he got, I'm not mad at it. I'm happy that they finally got that X receiver that they needed.
Yeah, I like the contract. That's what made me appreciate it more was the amount we got him for. And when you said it too, my concern though still is will Kyle run him into the ground like he's done with CMC, who I'm concerned about going forward as well, because I don't see him being much better if at all next year because of his age. And I think we need to start looking for the heir apparent to CMC as well somehow. But I don't know. Kyle seems to have attachment issues to his guys, so I don't know if he's ready to let go any of these people we mentioned, Trent Williams, CMC. He just got Evans now, so that might be his new favorite toy that he just abuses and just constantly throws the ball to or calls plays for. So Kittles is out, for untold amount of time. So I mean, I like we actually signed Tunges, which is a great re-sign, and he played incredible in a pinch, and for us, he played better than Farrell. I'm surprised he's still on the team. We need to let him go. Yeah, Farrell needs to go because he was useless. Tonjes was good.
That Farrell signing is an abomination. But I don't think they're gonna let him go, but they should. They absolutely should. Yeah. But Nitro, man, I appreciate the call. I'm gonna let you go so we can get some other people in here, man. But hey, don't be a stranger. Thanks for calling in, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
Shout out Nitro for calling in. That means the phone lines are open. So if you guys want to call in, I will let you give your thoughts on what the 49ers have done thus far in free agency. Do you like what they've done? What are your favorite moves? Are you sad to see any certain player go that has walked out the door? What do you want to see them do moving forward in the coming days? For me, and I said it, bring back Dre Greenlaw. To me, it's going to be a low risk, high reward kind of deal because they're not going to sign him to a ton of money and he can still play if healthy. And it'll do nothing but boost the morale in that locker room, bring some physicality and toughness to that defense, which they were sorely lacking in 2025. And if he gets hurt, you have depth behind him. You have guys behind him. So that's what I want to see in coming days. I want to see them bring back Dre Greenlaw. I want to see them maybe go after a safety. I mentioned Chauncey Gardner-Johnson a few minutes ago as a guy I would like to see the Niners target, but from a personality standpoint, I don't know if that's a guy that they would ultimately want to pull the trigger on. But I personally, like, guys that are a little rough around the edges don't bother me. So I would like to see the Niners bring in a guy like that. Yeah, the phone lines are open. So if anyone else wants to call in and give their thoughts, we can certainly do that. Let me see what you guys are saying here in the chat. Oh, Nitro chiming in says Debo coming back eventually. I think he's going to be our return man. That crossed my mind as well. Obviously, a lot of people are linking Debo to come back to the Niners, and he does have return ability. We'll see. We'll see. It's been quiet on the Debo front. Kind of strange, but we'll see what happens. We do have another caller backstage, and we go out to my guy, Esai, calling in to Keeping the Faith. What's up, brother? How you doing this evening?
Hey JD, how's it going, man? How's your day going?
Hey, the Niners acquired a game wrecker on the interior in Osa Odigizua, so I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Yeah, man, I'm liking the pickup. I'm liking what they've done so far. Honestly, they've really went after the defensive trenches, signed some depth for the offensive line. Everything that they're addressing what they needed to do. The Mike Evans signing was a really good deal. I that kind of reminds me of bringing in Anquan Bolden back in the day. I kind of think he's going to have that same effect that Bolden did. Bolden came. I mean, he was supposed to be over past his prime too. He came in and he was just a beast.
That's what's
So
funny. I've heard that comparison, and I like the comparison because they were right around the same age when they both came to the Niners. But I don't remember when the Niners acquired Anquan Bolden. I don't remember everyone talking about, man, he's just so old. That wasn't the talk that I remember when they brought in Bolden. But for some reason, with Mike Evans, they're saying, oh man, he's too old. I think what it is just the fact that the rest of the Niners offense is old. So they bring in
yeah,
another old guy, and that's what rubs people the wrong way. But
yeah.
Mike
I
Evans
mean,
can still play, man.
yeah, no, he definitely could still play, and I mean, just his size alone, it's a red zone target, and that's really gonna be like a safety blanket for Brock Purdy. You know what I mean? Especially in the red zone. Oh, that's something that he needs, and something that the offense has been lacking for years, man. Just someone that he could just lob it up to. He is a shorter running back or a shorter quarterback, and he kind of needs that security blanket. Um, you know, uh, they're filling holes, man. I'm liking it. Getting deeper. Would like for them to, like you said, bring in Dre Greenlaw or Joey Bosa, a couple other pass rushers.
It was
Um,
it was funny because after Monday, it got kind of quiet, and everyone was saying, "Man, are the Niners done? Like, what are they doing? They're just sitting back, letting everyone else get signed. Like, why are they not going after
yeah,
anybody?" And then all of a sudden, boom, they make a huge trade for Osa Odigizua. So the Niners are being they're being quiet. They're working the phones. They're doing their homework, and they're making moves where they see fit. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to let it play out before I freak
yeah.
out because everyone was
I'm
freaking out late Monday and on Tuesday, and then now look what happened. Boom, they go
yeah.
and get that interior rusher. So I'm going to be patient and see how this plays out.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're doing their due diligence. You know what I mean? Calling up teams. One thing that I found kind of intriguing was the trade rumors for Jalen Carter. Man, I don't know if you dabbled into those, but apparently, everyone was calling up Howie Roseman and seeing if they were taking trade offers for Jalen Carter. I mean, you bring him over to the Niners, that front becomes probably the best in football.
I don't see that happening, especially now that they brought in Osa because they already have
Yeah, yeah,
Alfred
no,
Collins,
no.
CJ West.
I think Osa. I think they're done unless they do something in the draft with the defensive front, and then also probably like another pass rusher like Bosa or another guy. Um, you know, but yeah, man. I'm liking the moves. Everything. I mean, there's only two spots that we got to address now, and that's the secondary and the offensive line. I think they're gonna probably address those sometime in the draft. A couple guys that I like. I like that Manuel McNeil Warren guy.
Hmm.
Safety Toledo. He looks like a stud. And then I've seen in some mock drafts, that Spencer Fano might just be there at 27. And I think if he's there even at 25, I think you got to make the call and trade up for him, man. You know.
The way things are shaping up right now, they've already addressed receiver. They've already addressed the defensive line. They've added a little bit of depth on the O line. The way things are kind of shaping up to me, it does kind of feel like they're going to go offensive line at 27. The more I think about it, they are kicking the tires on some other veteran receivers right now too. So I don't think they're going to go receiver at 27. The
Yeah,
more I think about it, I feel like they're going to go O line.
I don't either. I have a strong feeling they're gonna go O line. I mean, the last time they drafted an offensive lineman, other than Pooney, pretty high. Or I mean, is Mike McGlinchey, and he's on another team. It's been years since that pick was made. And I mean, McGlinchey was really, really good in the run game, struggled a lot in the pass game. He got really exposed in the pass game. But what I'm seeing from these guys coming out of the draft, the tackles and in the draft, they all seem to have a good anchor in the pass game. They're just bigger offensive linemen. We don't know if they could run Kyle's zone scheme,
Mhm.
but a couple years under their belt, let them get into shape, get some speed behind them. Maybe it all changes.
But the Niners
Um,
also need to get a little bit bigger on the offensive line. They get pushed around
yeah,
against some of the more physical teams, some of the bullies. I mean, look what Seattle did to them week
yeah, no,
18
you're
in
right.
Levi's Stadium. This team needs to get bigger, stronger, a little nastier. So maybe you sacrifice a little bit of agility for a guy who can maul and get after it. That wouldn't
Yes,
bother me
no,
because this
I
team needs
agree
a little
with
bit of
you.
that.
I mean, that Seattle front, they're nasty, man. They won the Super Bowl solely on that front. And I mean, I mean, their defense for the most part, other than what Reek Woolen, and I think that was the main one that walked, right? They're all
Mhm.
coming back next year. I mean, I've heard some rumors about Lawrence maybe retiring. But he never came out and said for sure. But I mean, they're all coming back next year, and I mean, we got to play them twice a year. You know, we got to at least split to be in the top wild card spot or even win the division. So I think offensive line would definitely be smart to invest in the draft. Get them cheap, get some, do the 5th year option, and then yeah, man.
And
But
let's
so
be
far,
real. Let's be real. Are we really going to bank on a 38-year-old left tackle to stay healthy?
yeah, I mean Trent Williams over the past few years, he's good for missing what 3 to 5 games.
Yeah, somewhere in there, 2, 3, 4. He's going to miss some time, and so
Yeah.
maybe that's why they brought in Vidarian Lowe, who started 24 games over the last couple seasons with the New England Patriots. But they need to get a young guy who they
So
can groom to be that heir apparent.
Vidarian Lowe, if I'm not mistaken, he filled in for Will Campbell this past year, right?
Correct.
I mean, he did a pretty decent job. I think that signing is good, and I like it for depth, but we really need starters, man. I mean, I know they love McKivitz, dude, and I know the reason why they love McKivitz because McKivitz takes the discounts. He's cheap, and yeah, his PFF grade is top five, but we've seen him get beat bad several times. I mean, so
This team needs to get a little bigger, a little nastier,
yes,
a little
yes,
stronger. So if they take one of those bigger linemen at 27, it's not going to bother me. You like I said, you might sacrifice a little bit of that agility that Kyle wants, but I'm tired of everything being about Kyle's scheme, and it needs to be more about Kyle adjusting his scheme, adapting his scheme to fit the talents of the players that he has.
yeah. I
Because
mean,
go ahead.
you have Christian McCaffrey, and I mean, yeah, he's a little bit older, but is it really him getting older, or is it your offensive lineman not being able to create space and holes for him to hit? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I watch a few games, and they're just not creating run lanes. They're getting beat. They're getting manhandled, and I mean everyone knows it. They
And you're seeing the trend around the NFL now. These teams are getting bigger in the trenches. They're kind of straying away from the wide zone scheme. Yes, a lot of teams do run the Shanahan offense, but you're seeing defenses start to come back towards the forefront. Guys getting bigger defensive lines.
yeah,
Look what Baltimore has been over so many years. They always love to build a bully. Seattle's built a bully. The
yeah.
Niners need to get back to being the bully that they were in 2019 when they ran it down everyone's throats and nobody could stop it. They need to get
If
back to that.
if you look at the way Seattle built their defense, they built that defense to 100% stop Kyle Shanahan's system,
Mhm.
and they did a damn good job at it. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, look at we only put up what I forgot how many points, like 9 points on them the last two games that we played them. I mean, they stopped us 100%. And I mean, now's the time for Kyle. He needs to evolve, man. He needs to go back to his drawing boards, tweak his system, and let's get back to it. And, I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't be in the NFC Championship, playoffs again. We have the talent. The talent's there. We just need a few more pieces.
And you're seeing with the moves that the Niners have made this week that they are trying to contend this year. That you don't go and sign a Mike Evans for the future. You sign Mike Evans because you're trying to win in 2026. You don't go and trade for a 28-year-old Osa Odigizua who is making almost $20 million this year. You're making these moves for 2026. So they need to, you know, keep keep looking at adding players that can help you now and in the future. They
Yes.
need to get that left tackle of the future. Maybe get someone, and if you do draft one of those left tackles who may be a little bit bigger, maybe you start him at guard this year.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
him
Right
some
next.
experience. Let him play next to Trent for a year and learn the
Yes.
offense, and then
Yes.
you
One hundred
gradually move
percent.
him over to left tackle.
100%. Just let him soak in that freaking legend like a sponge, man. I mean, that's the best guy you could probably learn from, man. Honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
Absolutely. Well, hey,
mean,
Esai, man, I'm going to let you go so we can try and get some other people in,
oh
but I
heck yeah.
appreciate the call as always, man. Thank you for always, watching the videos and dropping comments and all that stuff. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no, of course, JD. I love the show. Always listener. You take it easy. Have a good night.
You as well. Shout out to Esai. We have another caller backstage. Let's go to SGA Sports Talk. Hey, man, you are on Keeping the Faith. How are you doing this evening, my friend?
Hey, what's up, JD? I've been a Niner fan for 10 years now. I love this team. I'm passionate about my team. I'm loyal. Um, I'm hoping they do good in the 2026 season. I'm really excited for the NFL draft. I mean, The NFL draft is such a big event for all these young athletes to move from college to play for the pros. I mean, it's really special, to see all the hard work that they've put in throughout the whole season, what they've had to culminate in this beautiful event that's going to be taking place in Pittsburgh. I mean, what are your thoughts on the draft? I mean, are you really looking forward to getting anybody in the draft, or are you just going to and winging it and just kind of looking at whoever you which positions we need to we need to target?
I mean, there's a few guys that I have my eyes on. I love the receiver Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. I like Antonio Williams, the receiver out of Clemson. Um, but right now I'm looking at what the Niners are doing in free agency, kind of the rumors that are happening as we speak, and I'll definitely be dipping my toes into the draft much more as we get closer. And I always love to put up my draft reaction videos every single year, reacting to every 49ers pick. So definitely look forward to those because I'll be putting those up, man. But this is Chardal, right?
This is Chardot.
Chardal, I got to ask you, man. So what do you think about some of the moves the Niners made this week, going out and getting Mike Evans? Did you like that move? How do you feel about that?
I mean, Mike Evans was a blockbuster move. I mean, getting Mike Evans was phenomenal for our team. I mean, he was great in Tampa Bay, but having him come over here, it's a great move. I mean, I'm really looking forward to what this guy can produce on the field. I mean, this guy puts in the work every single day. Coming to San Francisco, I mean, Niner fans have to be really proud about this move. I mean, this move has to hype all Niner fans up, realizing that we got Mike Evans in a free agency.
Absolutely. What did you think of the big trade today for Osa from the Cowboys?
I think that uh I don't know about Osa, the player that we got from Dallas. I don't know too much about him. I don't know about every single player because I'm not that. I don't know a lot about all the players. Some players are kind of new to me. But I guess if I look him up online and I look about his career and what he's done, I think I'll get to know him, know that player better. But it's just like I'm not that like all the other Niner content creators who know about all these players. I'm not that much into all of that. I just know like the Kittles, the McCaffreys, the Purdy's, but I don't really know the new players. The Mike
Hey,
Evans is the Mike Evans is the only player that I'm kind of familiar by because he played in Tampa Bay so under Todd Bowles. So that's the only player that I'm kind of familiar with. But I'm gonna get used to the other players that we're gonna get in the draft.
Gotcha. Well, let me ask you this then. There's been the rumors out there that the Niners may bring back some of their old players. They might bring back Debo. They might bring back Dre Greenlaw. Does that sort of thing interest you? What do you think about the Niners maybe bringing those guys back?
I mean, I'm a big fan of Debo. I mean, from the first time people know me as a Niner fan, I was in love with Debo. Like I was the biggest Debo Samuel fan out there. I still have his jersey. I love to see him there. But he's a great player, and I hope we get him. But I don't know how much money the Niners would need to get Debo.
Well, he's a free agent, so they'll be able to sign him if they want. Um, but I don't know if that doesn't make the Niners younger. It doesn't make them faster. It does make them a little tougher, a little more physical on offense. But I want the Niners to bring in a speed receiver at this point. I wouldn't be mad if they brought in Debo, but I would prefer that they go and get someone younger, somebody faster.
So as a Niner fan, I have a trade that I want to ask you about. So what were your thoughts when Sky Moore went to the Green Bay Packers? I love Sky
Yep.
Moore, punt returner.
Yeah. That one bummed me out, man. He only went to Green Bay on a 1-year deal, so it kind of makes me scratch my head. Like, why couldn't the Niners match what the Packers were offering? I mean, he was the Niners' best kick returner since Ted Ginn about 15 years ago. Kind of disappointed me to see Sky Moore leave. I wanted the Niners to bring back their entire special teams room, and seeing him walk out the door is definitely a bummer. That's a big underrated hole on this team now. Who's going to be the returner? Like, that's something that the Niners are going to have to address.
That's why this NFL organization is really hard because they trade away good players away, and they keep players that don't need to be here anymore. I don't understand that aspect. Like, if you have good players, you keep them, you let them develop, and if they don't develop, then you let them go. But you don't just let them go initially. I don't understand that part about this league. That's the thing that kind of bums me out.
I mean, it comes down to money. Maybe the Packers offered more money than the Niners. Maybe he wanted to go to Green Bay for some unknown reason. Think those are things we'll just never know. But Chardal, man, I appreciate the call as always, my friend. Call back next time, okay?
I'm gonna. It was great calling into. It was great calling to Keeping the Faith. I'm gonna be live streaming all 3 rounds of the NFL draft. So if you'd like to join me on my channel, I don't think I've ever had you on my channel. We could react to the draft picks, and I'll probably get some other people on, and we'll probably do a watch party for the draft. Would you like to come on?
I may check it out. I definitely, I like to post my reactions, so we'll see. But I'll definitely swing by and check it out for sure.
Yeah, but I've never had you on my channel, so I would love to have you on because I know you're a diehard Niner fan like I am. You got a lot of diehard Niner fans on this channel. So, I mean, if you have nothing else, if you're not doing anything, if you're kind of busy, I would love to have you on for all 3 rounds of the draft if you're not doing anything. But it was great calling in, and I'll definitely call next time on Keeping the Faith.
All right, Chardal. Have a good night, my man.
See you later.
Shout out the GOAT, Chardal, for calling in to Keeping the Faith. The phone lines are now open for you guys to call in. And while we wait for someone else to call, we do have a little bit of breaking news on X/Twitter. This comes from Max Crosby. And I'm not going to pull the graphic up on the screen. I'm just going to read what it says. This is from Max Crosby. He says, "Everything happens for a reason. Believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. I'm a Raider. I'm back. Run that shit. Hashtag Raider Nation." So there you have it. Max Crosby's going to be a Raider in 2026. Kind of crazy with everything that happened, all the rumors, he was a Raven for like 6 hours. Craziness. Now it looks like Max Crosby is going to stay a Raider. So any Niner fans who are still holding out hope that maybe they could get Crosby at a discounted rate, that's just went out the window. Not happening. He's a Raider. So just keep that in mind. We do have one more caller backstage. Let me bring him up right now. My bad. I see my guy Bashar is backstage. Let me bring him on up. Bashar, how are you doing tonight, my friend? Thanks for calling in.
You're very welcome. Thank you, JD. It's always good to be on here. Some things going on in Ninerland. I'm not overly excited, but I'm not down and out like other Niner fans are, the ones who are never happy. So I'm kind of in the middle. What's up, man?
Oh, I'm good, man. The Niners made a big move today. They made a good move. They fortified one of the weaknesses on this team. People got to be a little patient, man. And like you said, there are people who just love to be negative about everything. And I'm down the middle. Like if I feel like it deserves some negativity, I'll give it some negativity. If I think it was a good move, I'll tell you it was a good move. I don't have a slant or an angle or a gimmick. Like I kind of call it down the middle. That's just how I do my thing.
Got you, man. As far as Mike Evans goes, I mean, as far as the talent, you cannot deny the talent. I mean, what he's done, obviously he's not Jerry Rice, but if there's anybody else out there who you could compare him to, I don't know, Larry Fitzgerald, he's up there with the greats, and he's definitely in the conversation. He's a Super Bowl champion. We are fortunate to get him. Oh, yeah, easily. We are fortunate to get him. I get it. He's coming off of a down season. I get it. He's up there in age and call it what you want, but I mean, it's a great addition to the mix. It's going to help Brock a bit. And maybe he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I'm seeing people doubt him on social media saying he's over the hill, and especially from Niner fans. But ran across so many, that's why my excitement went down when we got him, because I just read so much negativity coming from Niner fans. But we'll see what he's got. We'll wait come training camp preseason and see if I think he's got something left in the tank. Jerry Rice came to the Raiders at age 38. I remember what happened, and I was shocked to see Jerry put up the numbers that he did with the Raiders. So, not saying he's Jerry Rice, but I think he could do something for us.
Real quick, Fazil, Big Brick 84. I see you guys backstage. Stay there. I will get to you soon. As soon as I'm done with Bashar here, don't go anywhere. shout out to those guys backstage. I want to make sure I get to them, but I don't want them to hang up while I'm talking to you. But I'm going to give you your time, Bashar. I don't want to cut you off because we got more callers, but I want to make sure they stay back there. I'm excited about the Mike Evans move. I mean, what did we hear all season last year? The Niners need a number one receiver. Well, they went and got one. Mike Evans is a number one receiver, and he had one year kind of marred by injuries, but he's largely been a player who has been able to, stay healthy. Yeah, he's had some dings and things the last couple of seasons, but he's a guy, when push comes to shove, he gets 1,000 yards every single season. He plays most of the year. He had 1 year last year where he got a little dinged up. I don't think it's a trend. I don't think it's a prediction of what's to come. I think that Mike Evans is motivated. You're hearing that he wanted a new challenge, so that's why he came to San Francisco. He wants to win a Super Bowl. That's why he came to San Francisco. And I heard LaShawn McCoy on his podcast talking about, Evans is down to like 225. He's training hard. He's really motivated. So I'm excited, man. Like, the Niners could be getting Mike Evans with a chip on his shoulder.
That's good to hear. So I mentioned the chip on the shoulder, I believe, but I was just kind of throwing it out there. But seems like there's some actual weight to it. So that's good to hear. Yeah, it's gonna be nice having him out here. I don't know I'm sure you saw that one little clip of that little Niner fan that ran into him when Mike Evans was a buck, and Mike Evans gave him the gloves, and the kid made a new video like celebrating the fact that Mike Evans is the Niner. But I thought that was pretty cool, man.
I didn't see that. I know the clip that you're talking about with Evans giving him the gloves, but I didn't see the updated video.
I'll send it to you.
Does the kid still have the gloves?
Yeah, he does. He said he wants to get them signed, or you put it in the comments. I'll send you the video. It's on Instagram.
That's awesome. See, I would have thought the dad or the kid would have sold the gloves already, but that's cool. He still has them. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is because a good moment for that kid. Hey, welcome to the Bay, Mike Evans. We'll see where it goes from there. I still do want more speed at wide receiver. If we draft Denzel Boston from Washington at where we're picking, I know we got to beef up the O-line, but hey, I'm gonna be pretty ecstatic if we get him in round one. I don't know if we're going that direction. There are some other guys that we can get that can help us at receiver, but I do want another receiver in the mix. It's one that can possibly be the next number one when Evans is gone. So.
But Bashar, we want to get younger and faster. I don't think drafting Denzel Washington is going to help that at receiver.
Denzel Boston. Yeah, he's not faster. He's a bigger guy. Yeah.
No,
he's from Washington.
You almost said Denzel Washington. So
yeah, no, he's from Washington though. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I like him too. Another big guy. Imagine having a guy like Denzel Boston who has size, getting to learn from a future Hall of Famer and Mike Evans. I mean, that's a perfect scenario right there.
Definitely. Yeah, we picked up Osa. Obviously, I'll be honest, man, I wasn't a guy, I watched the Cowboys sparingly once in a blue moon. So I wasn't a guy who necessarily noticed this Osa guy, but I read a lot about his stats as far as getting the quarterback, pressuring the quarterback, that is. The quarterback hits. The sacks may not be there, but pressures and QB hits are huge. He has a high win rate. Apparently, I saw this clip on Instagram where all these Dallas Cowboy fans were not happy about the move. So that's good for us. We didn't have any interior pass rushes. It should definitely help us.
Yeah, they're going back to the trenches. They're investing in the trenches. And all the best teams, you're seeing it. Philly does it. Seattle does it. Some of the best teams, they go and fortify the trenches every single year. And so I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, man.
Yeah, as far as that goes, obviously we need to draft for O-line on the other side of the trenches. I'm looking forward to if we finally do that. We sign Toth. Toth might be a guy who could, I don't know if he could challenge Brendel or not. Who knows? But we just got to get better O-line some way, somehow. We wish for it every year, but is this year that it finally happens?
I mean, there was people in Philadelphia last year saying that Toth was giving their starting center, Cam Jurgens, a run for his money. Like when Toth came in and played for him, they were saying that he was playing better than Jurgens. So, if Rendel's getting pushed around, who knows? Maybe Toth gets a look at center.
Got you. So things are getting started in the offseason. Things are kind of looking good. And, a lot of Niner fans complain that we don't do enough. We don't do it. Looks like we're doing something. And who knows, we may do more. So I'm just going to sit back you and the rest of the Niner fans and see what we can do. Nice talking to you, man. Good to catch up. And I'll be on here in the future.
Appreciate you, Bashar. Have a good one.
All right, take care, bro. Go Niners.
Go Niners. Shout out my guy Bashar. That's 49er minded in the chat and on here on YouTube. Check out his channel, Not sure when he's going to post another video or go live, but make sure you subscribe to 49er Minded here on YouTube. We go to our next caller. My guy Fazil is calling in. Fazil, we got you on the stage. How you doing tonight, my friend? Thanks for calling in.
Hey JD, hope all is well, man. It's been quite a minute. I know things have been busy lately, with this work and house stuff and everything, but it's been going good, man. I just wanted to catch up with you. Hope you're doing good. Hope family health, everything's good. I love what the Niners have been doing, especially after today. Getting Mike Evans. I was talking earlier, I think in the chat, like he's gonna make the running game better. This is what people think with Jerry Rice, Greg Cosell. I was hearing on 95.7 The Game and others, content creators, like he's going to stretch that defense of that threat, that veteran leadership with him, Ricky Pearsall, another draftee potentially. I don't know in the first round, but I think first round they're probably going to go wide receiver, O line, or maybe another D lineman. Probably everyone talking about the safety, from Toledo. We will see where they go. And I think they're going to go best player available probably at 27 because of where they're at, because they're drafting late in the first round. But they're going to pick what they think is going to best fit the team to need. And I don't mind where they go, but as long as it's a good player, it's a young, good stud player, we got to, especially, getting a hairpin to Trent Williams, but getting Mike Evans with that, it's going to put safeties back. It may create little whole lanes for McCaffrey and everything, the play action coming back. Kittle should be coming back. Brock after the year he's coming. And, especially the depth signings of the swing tackle we got low and then Toth that everyone's talking about. I saw some moves, man. He was some movers on some Saquon, like had some 80-yard runs, and he was moving some guys against the Giants I was looking at. I know it's the Giants, but, this is the second level when you need to get to in this Shanahan system, including my favorite one I love today. I was at work when it happened when they traded for Osa. They were talking about him yesterday. I think David Lombardi and all these other guys on Twitter, Akash and all of them, and there was some guy that was really on it. They were hitting the nail on the money, like his pressure rate and everything. Clogging up the middle with him and Michael and Huff and Bosa coming back. It's going to be very lethal. JD, I think this is going to be really nice. It's what it was a desperate hole that they needed. And, I hope they probably go after another, like maybe a Jaquan Brisker or maybe a Dre Greenlaw, like you said, get him for cheap. You can also probably get a Debo back for cheap as well. Veteran leadership, knows the system. Kyle loves him. He loves it here. What do you think, man? I think they're doing great so far.
I think they're doing good, man. They do need to add some speed. They do need to add some youth. But at the same time, like this team had holes and they needed to fill them. They want to be competitive in 2026. You can't just go full on youth movement and sacrifice winning in the short term. Like this team's trying to kind of have the two timelines thing. They want to win now, but they also want to kind of rebuild, retool, bring in some youth. And I feel like they're kind of dancing that fine line and they're trying to do the best that they can. They're trying to win now, and they also have the draft picks to go get some youngsters. They're still making phone calls on some younger receivers in the trade market. So I like what they're doing. And bringing in Osa, I love that move. I mean, after they miss out on John Franklin Myers and they didn't overpay for him, thank God, they go and get Osa Odigizua, who is 3 years younger than John Franklin Myers and is a heck of a player and a perfect fit for what the Niners like to do on their defensive line, complements what they already have so well. I was ecstatic today when that news came across.
Me too. Me too. Me too. Sorry about the noise in the back.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, I think I was ecstatic as well. And just a third round pick. They're getting the picks back, those compensatory picks. What they did for it was a great deal. They got it for the cheap, like you said. Also wanted John Franklin Myers. Speaking of talking about him, I thought that was the guy the Niners were going to target, and they were targeting him before Saleh took him in Tennessee, and then I think right after they pivoted right over to Osa, and they knew the Cowboys were going to trade him to clear up some space, and it only happened to fit right with the Niners schedule and right with what we wanted, and we pulled that trigger. Great move by Lynch and Shanahan and Co. and Parag Marathe and all them. So this is good, JD. I think they're not done yet. I think they're going to still do some more stuff throughout the week. Jake Tom just came back, Sammy Okwanu. They well-deserved players. They made some impact plays this year that were huge, but This defensive line is even better. Like I said, the run stuffers they did last year, they drafted, with Alfred, CJ West, Mike Hill, but now you can kick Mike Hill inside, and then, with the run defense that he already has, he's going to go against those guards with Osa and Bosa off the edge. It's going to be very lethal. He stays healthy. They're going to be great. I think the Niners will make a run for the Rams in Seattle again. So we shall see what goes on. But it should be interesting. There's a lot more to do because we're only this is the first day of the league year. The tampering period's over. Now everything's all open. There may be more trades, who knows, and some more surprise signings.
Yeah, I mean the Niners are full of surprises. Like on day one of free agency, people were saying Romeo Dobbs to the Niners was virtually a done deal, and then boom, we get a Mike Evans signing out of nowhere, and then everyone's kind of sitting back saying, "Oh, what are the Niners doing? They're just sitting on their hands. They're not doing anything." Boom, they trade a third round pick to the Cowboys for Osa Odigizua. So the Niners are doing their homework. They're making some noise. They're making calls. They're doing their due diligence. And I'm really excited to see kind of what they do next. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely, JD. I'm really excited to see what they do. I think, maybe like you said, with some other players may be returning that were back from the past, like a Greenlaw or Debo, or they may go maybe after a Jaquan Brisker or something from safety, or they're going to draft in the safety in the first round or the later rounds. But this is going to be this is good. This is a building block. They got to get younger, like you said. They got to get faster, but also at the same time, they're trying to win now. Like, so which is why you got a player like Mike Evans. You get a player like Osa at 28 years old. He's young and he's in his prime. This is what it is. JD, I hope they do great, man. It's great catching up with you and everything. We'll talk more during the draft and the season coming up. And let's go get it.
Absolutely, man. Hey, Fazil, thanks for calling, my friend. Look forward to talking to you next time.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, JD. Take care.
All right, you as well.
Bye bye.
Shout out Fazil for calling in as always. We do have one more caller backstage. Let's go to Big Brick 84. Thanks for holding on and being patient, my man. How you doing tonight?
What up, JD? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. These Niners are making moves. They're making some noise. How you feeling?
So I don't know what's going on, but I cannot hear you at all.
You can't hear me. Are you on an iPhone?
Yep, iPhone.
That's
Reading
why.
lips.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me try something. Can you hear me now?
Damn it, no. Still can't hear you, brother.
Okay. Why don't you leave and come back? Leave and come back. You can't hear me, but like walk out and then come back.
All right, I'll try it. Give it a try.
All right. Maybe there is an issue with iPhones. I had to kind of do sign language for him, or kind of pantomime it for him. I know he couldn't hear me, but there's an iPhone issue with StreamYard. So all you iPhone users, man, you got to switch to Androids. You got to switch to Androids if you want to call in to these StreamYard shows. But let's see if Big Brick calls back, man. In the meantime, anyone else wants to call in too, you can. You are more than welcome to do so here on Keeping the Faith. We've been live for about an hour and a half talking all things 49ers, all things free agency, and the noise the Niners have been making early on to start the new league year. Looking forward to hearing from Big Brick if he can call back in. I'm trying to take as many phone calls as I can tonight. There he is. Let's try it. Hopefully it works. Cross your fingers. All right, Big Brick, can you hear me now?
God damn it, I could finally hear you.
Let's go. How you doing tonight, my friend?
Let's go, man. I'm chilling. Long time listener, first time caller. You know the deal.
So what's on your mind? How are you feeling about what the Niners are doing right now?
Hopeful. More hopeful than in the offseason of 2025. I got to admit, I wasn't a fan of the Mike Evans deal at first until I thought about it and realized, like, it's a good deal for sure. My big hope is that, not only will he be a veteran mentor to all the young receivers in the room that we got, who we might draft, but he's going to be that red zone target we've needed outside of, CMC and Kittle. So I really hope that he kind of bears that cross, and he's the one that's going for the red zone scores more than his 1,000 yards that he's done so many times in his career. Like, I don't know if he's got that in him anymore, but I know he'll be a very viable red zone target for Brock. And
I mean, you're hearing we're hearing all the right things about Mike Evans right now. They're saying he's down to 225. He's motivated. He wanted a challenge. That's why he left Tampa Bay. He wants to play for a Super Bowl. He wanted to go to a team where he can get a ton of targets. Like he's trying to come in here and make some noise. And so
Yep.
I feel like we're getting a Mike Evans who maybe feels a little disrespected coming off of an injured season. A lot of people are saying he probably doesn't have it anymore. He's too old. He's getting hurt. And Mike Evans is hearing all that stuff. So he's going to come in here motivated as hell and wanting to prove people wrong. And when you have a guy who's a future Hall of Famer with a chip on his shoulder, watch out.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like he's going to be a dangerous addition, like way more so than he was at Tampa. Granted, he had a long career, 10,000-yard seasons, right? Something along those lines. But I don't expect him to get a lot of yards this year, but I expect him to get a lot of touchdowns. So not only that, but like with Evans in the rotation, defenses have to respect him. The minute they don't respect him, they get burned. And as soon as they start respecting him, that opens up the field for other players. I don't see it being anything but a good thing. And I hope that, it might be a humbling experience for JJ to see that you get a Hall of Famer for less than 14 or about 16 for a couple of years. That's way less than what he wants at 20 mil a year. So hopefully that opens his eyes and realizes his ego's been fanning his his agent has been fanning his ego. And maybe that'll make him finally rethink his negotiations. And who knows, maybe he ends up in Santa Clara and San Francisco next year. I still don't see it happening. But
yeah, I feel like he's probably sitting out there right now waiting by his phone for teams to call him. And he's kind of kicking himself like, man, why didn't I take the Niners offer when I had the chance? They were offering me 15, 16 million a year ago. Why didn't I take that? I'm with you. This might be a humbling experience for JJ.
But I do think that Osa is by far the biggest signing we've made so far. He's going to have the biggest impact on the team as a whole next year. He is literally a plug-and-play pass rusher at defensive tackle that we need. The only thing I might suggest that we try to look into, I'm sure we're kicking the tires on it, but, man, Joey Bosa could make a lot of sense for us. The only reason I say that is, he had a strong year. Out of Trey Henderson and Max Crosby, he had the strongest year in Buffalo last year between those three players. And I could honestly think that Joey and Nick could be willing to take a pay cut just to finally play together for once in the NFL. So that might be a good, bargaining chip in the Niners' pocket when they go to restructure Nick Bosa's deal. But I also see those two guys always trying to one-up each other. So I bet they'd probably have their hardest playing season out of their whole career by just trying to show each other up. And not only that, but the nonverbal communication.
Yeah, if anyone has a sibling, everybody knows how competitive you are with your own sibling, your own brother, your own sister. Imagine having Nick and Joey Bosa on the same defensive line. They're going to have like wagers every game. Hey, I bet you I can get more sacks than you. Hey, I bet you I can get more pressures than you. Like they're going to bring the best out of each other if Joey Bosa winds up in a Niner uniform.
100%. And if one goes down, you still got the other. And then we got all the other weapons we got on the D-line. So I think if the Niners are going to make any more big moves in free agency before the draft, that might be one they consider.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Well, what else do you want to see the Niners maybe kind of go out and do here over the next couple of days in free agency?
The one guy that keeps coming to mind is we need a safety, right? I think with Raheem Morris coming in, our cornerback room might not be as weak as people think. I know Renardo Green is stronger than man coverage than he is in zone. We played a lot of zone. That's why he kind of got the shit end of the stick. But I really think we still need a ball hawk safety. And the guy that comes to mind is Brisker from the Indiana Bears. I still think that's somebody we should really target and try to see if we can't sign in free agency.
I'm shocked he's still out there, really.
Same.
I wouldn't mind that at all. I would be open to that. I mentioned Chauncey Gardner-Johnson earlier in the stream.
Yep.
There are some safeties out there, and they definitely need to upgrade at that spot. Maybe that's somewhere they go in the draft. Who knows? But, I don't think the Niners are done in free agency. I don't. I think they got another move or two up their sleeve.
I agree. And, as far as Trent Williams goes, as much as I love that man, I think it's time to let him go. He's just holding us hostage year after year for a bigger deal. The only way I see us keeping Trent Williams is if we're able to lower his year-over-year salary and make it all guaranteed. That's the only way I think he stays, is if we get him guaranteed money. And I'd be really hard-pressed to do anything longer than 2 years. And, just I just don't see it happening. As much as I want to keep Trent, I think that frees up so much capital for us in the salary cap and everything like that. And, a stud left tackle like that's hard to come by, but at the same time, that Band-Aid's got to get ripped off one way or another. I know Bill Walsh would have probably traded him a couple of years ago, the first time he tried holding us hostage. So I think Trent, as much as I don't want to see him go, I think it's time. And, we could basically rebuild half our O-line for that draft money that he's demanding. So, or excuse me, the salary cap money and everything he's demanding. Like, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze anymore.
Yeah, and I think we're going to find out a resolution to that shortly because he does have that $10 million bonus coming to him on March 20th. Today is March 11th, so we're 9 days out. So we'll find out within the next 9 days whether Trent Williams is going to continue to be a San Francisco 49er or not. According to Adam Schefter, though, the Niners don't have any interest in trading him. They are working on a deal. So to me, it sounds like Trent will be back, but we shall see.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if we kept him as long as we don't break the bank to do it. And then I think, I'm actually kind of surprised that Mac Jones hasn't fetched a high enough offer for us to even entertain it yet. I think he, as good as he's been for us and as clutch as he was last year when Brock went down, we got Rourke and Martinez in the QB room. I really don't see a need to keep Mac Jones, especially if we can get at least like a, early first round or maybe late second round for him. I don't know, man. Like there's teams, the draft class for the QB market is just not deep enough to really sit on them. So I'm still hoping we get a decent draft pick for him and maybe something else. But I don't know. I think between Trent and Mac, we've got some good bargaining chips left, and maybe we work something out before the deadline.
Not just Trent and Mac. I mean, you've been hearing Larry Krueger talk about it for months that the Niners might be looking to trade Ricky Pearsall. They might be looking to trade Renardo Green. So the Niners might be able to add some serious draft capital to their arsenal with some moves here. I think the Niners are going to be pretty active between now and the NFL draft.
Yeah, and I know you and I don't see eye to eye on Greenlaw or Addison, but those could be viable options. I'm not gonna lie. If Greenlaw wants to come back for near a vet minimum, I'd be more than happy to take him back. But anything else than that, I don't see it being worth it.
I mean, the Greenlaw thing, I can understand. I totally get where you're coming from. That's not a wrong perspective or anything like that. But I got to ask you, what is it about Addison that you don't like? A 24-year-old wide receiver with tons of talent, tons of potential. I mean, yeah, he's a little bit of a knucklehead off the field, but the dude can play.
Yeah, my biggest fear with Addison is he'll demand too much money. And then secondly, all his off-field bullshit is going to catch up to him, especially if he comes to a place from Minnesota to the Bay Area. Like, you can't get away with nothing in the Bay Area. So he's inevitably going to have some more run-ins with the law if he doesn't mature before they sign him. So I know he's a good player. I'm not sure he's the right fit for the culture in the locker room.
Okay. I get it. I get it. Just, I don't know. Just me. I would take the risk. I would take the risk, but that's just me. That's why I'm not an NFL general manager. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Big Brick Man, anything else you want to hit on before we go ahead and let you go?
Yeah, the one thing that we keep talking about getting a solid wide receiver in the draft or another free agent wide receiver. The one counter that I'll have to that argument is that I really think and hope that the Niners need to pivot a little bit and focus on maybe more 13 personnel, 3 tight end sets, and look at going to get a stud tight end. Kenyon Sadiq is guaranteed not to be available at draft pick 27. But Curtis Roush from Stanford isn't terrible. Seems to have a good enough head on his shoulders where he might be a good enough weapon. I don't know. I don't have film or know much about the guy, but I just know that, he kind of fits the mold of what we're looking for tight ends. But my big thing is wide receivers are typically expensive divas. Tight ends are cheap football players. I would kind of think it'd be wise that the Niners with their current cap situation to focus on building up the tight end room more so than the wide receiver room. Now that we got Mike Evans, and we'll hopefully Watkins and Cowling will actually see the field and have a good year, stay healthy, along with Pearsall. Maybe we were able to retain Demarcus Robinson for a cheap, another 1-year deal. But I think the Niners need to focus on building up the tight end room and 13 personnel over getting more wide receivers, because that's just where things get out of hand. We get too inflated contracts. We get people that just they're not football players. They're receivers. You know what I mean? So
This
I
is
think
1,000% the year the Niners need to find the successor to George Kittle. They have to draft a tight end, maybe second, third, fourth round, who is not Cam Latu. They need to actually hit on that tight end pick and find the guy who's going to be the next guy after Kittle hangs it up in a couple of years.
Yeah, any tight end available in free agency is just going to cost too much. So yeah, the draft or bust for another tight end market. But I see that being the way out, where you get enough good run blockers and downfield threats through the tight end room, not the wide receiver room with the constraints we have with the salary cap. The other guy that I wanted to speak on real quick, he doesn't get enough coverage except for the day of the combine. He seems like he'd be a solid enough player. May not be tackle worthy, but at least a good guard and potentially a good center. Maybe a guard that plays both sides would be Jennings Dunker. That guy just looked like he was just built solid. He didn't blow you away with his measurables at the combine, but at the same time, he just seemed consistent and solid. Like, that's one guy I see us targeting maybe in the third or fourth round, just to bolster the depth of the O-line and put a fire under guys' ass like Zakel and Pleasance and everybody like that. But he could easily fill a Burford role if we don't find anybody else. Toth and Lowe, they seem like they got promise and they got an upside, but I just don't know if they're going to be strong enough to really be starters. So I don't know. Maybe some guy like that would be the right fit.
I'm with it, man. I want them to address the interior offensive line in this draft. I want them to find a mauler, enough of these smaller guys who can move around like ballerinas. Go and get me a badass who's going to move some people. That's what I want. So
somebody
I'm with you.
with the right head, the right mindset, the right work ethic, somebody that's going to just get better year after year, not somebody that's going to make it to the NFL and then coast. That guy he just seems like somebody that's going to keep working through his whole career. I don't know what it is, man. Like, he was one of the few standouts in the combine, because I honestly, to be totally honest with you, I only watched the offensive lineman combine day. I didn't watch any other day of the combine. I maybe caught a couple of highlights here and there, but he was the one guy that just seemed consistently in the middle, consistently at the higher end of everything that the O linemen were doing. And he's going to go totally overlooked, but I feel like he would be a good addition to the O line.
I'm with it. I would definitely be interested in a Jennings Dunker with a mid-round pick if he's there. I don't know. I feel like he's getting some pre-draft hype though, and I think he might go a little bit earlier than people think. I don't know. I feel like he's getting a lot of buzz right now as one of those kind of, everyone wants to say that he's like that sleeper guy that everyone can get, but when everyone's saying he's the sleeper, he's going to go higher than what everyone's kind of thinking. I don't know.
For real. But I know that, Spencer Fano, Lomu, and, all those other guys, they're going to go long before we even get a chance at 27.
Like, yeah.
I will be shocked if Sadiq is available at 27. If he is, they better fucking sign him. But
there's no chance. There's no chance Kenyon Sadiq's going to be there, but it would be crazy if he was. But Big Brick, man, hey, hell of a first call. I appreciate you for calling in, man. I always appreciate when you comment on my videos and streams and stuff, man. Don't be a stranger. Call back next time.
Absolutely will do. If the schedule fits, I will definitely do so, man.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Thanks, Jenny. You too. Let's go, Faithful.
Let's go. Shout out Big Brick 84 for making his caller debut on Keeping the Faith. That's awesome. Appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with me tonight on the stream for about an hour and 45 minutes talking all things free agency. We've dabbled a little bit in draft talk. Been a busy few days in 49er land, and I don't think that the Niners are done. I think they have another trick or two up their sleeve. So if you're looking forward to hearing about all that stuff, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you never miss a stream, you never miss a video. I will be posting a new video to bright and early tomorrow morning with some news about the Niners kicking the tires on a veteran wide receiver. They may not be done in the trade market, folks. So make sure you check out the channel tomorrow morning for that video. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I appreciate everybody who called in tonight. Strong caller day, strong chat day. You guys are awesome. Appreciate everyone for coming in, whether it's your first time or you're a long time viewer. All the support is much appreciated. Big day in 49ers land with them acquiring Osa Odigizua from Dallas. We will be back with more videos, more streams in the coming days, so keep it locked right here on Keeping the Faith. A lot to look forward to, faithful. So keep it locked right here.